News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Arlington coyote dragged a young girl into the woods in Park Attack. WFAA TV Channel 8 reports that a 911 caller said. What's really terrifying is in broad daylight, apparently, coyote attacks happened at the same park 3 times to kids on a playground in the middle of the day. February 10th, February 13th, and February 12th. Oh my gosh, so 3 attacks on children unprovoked, the 10th, the 12th, and the 13th. It's like 2 weeks ago or so. My gosh, the coyote has been caught and has been put to death, euthanized. They did do a rabies test. No rabies. So what does that tell you? Remember in Frisco a couple years ago, people were jogging and walking in the area of, I can't remember where that was, but it was at a well-known intersection. I think El Dorado Parkway and something. But the folks there were being terrorized by coyotes that were attacking them for no reason and chasing them down and hunting them down. So what do you do in this situation? How would you defend yourself and your kids in this situation? They're not afraid of us in metropolitan areas, as you know, particularly our area or any other area where people live. Do you blame the coyotes or do you blame us? Should we let them be in these situations since they were, quote unquote, here first, as some people say? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Okay, for me personally, this is one of the reasons why I carry. I don't want to shoot anything or anybody. I've never had to pull my firearm and never have had to shoot it. Never, hope to God, ever I ever will. Not even produced if I have to, but I don't want to. And but other than when I shoot at a firing range and such, and at fun outdoor shooting on private land, that's fun too. But as far as that, that's why I carry. I don't care about the coyote's life if it's about to attack me or my pet. Just so you know, this is pretty interesting, but the Texas law on shooting animals or coyotes or anything that is a threat, the Texas law is silent on us getting attacked. It is silent on us getting attacked. It is only you can use deadly force. You can shoot and kill an animal that's attacking or reasonably, if you suspect, is about to attack your pet or livestock. And I think the reason why is because no legislators want to push forth the law that allows you to shoot and kill Fluffy the dog that could be a threat or any other animal and look horrible. But if you are being threatened or you feel threatened, shoot the dang thing. By the way, don't miss it, because if you do, then you might get pinched for unlawfully discharging a firearm if you have no witnesses, no proof that there was an animal there. So you shouldn't do this just to do it. You should do it when you are seriously being threatened. But, and don't miss, but I carry for this reason. And there's people that have called in on the show that have said stuff like this, like, well, they were here first, we need to just let them be. I'm not here to go after and harass them, but dude, they are... I'm glad my son, my daughter, and I have all said when we see him, we tell our whole family, hey, there was 4 coyotes walking down the street in front of our house. Hey, there was 4 coyotes, I said, on the other side of the street from us, on the other, behind our neighbors that were behind us, you know what I'm saying, on the street 1 block over. They're everywhere. And you need to know that if you have a creek, if you live anywhere near a creek, they are super highways for these animals. So coyotes run up and down. That's how they get around so easily. They run up and down the creek beds. So I'm not moving anywhere to avoid the coyotes, and I'm not inconveniencing myself for a bobcat, a coyote, or anything. And I will protect myself, and I will protect my pet unequivocally. Here's the rest of that 911 call.
Are you with her as well or no?
Yes, I'm here.
And how old is she?
She's 4.
4? Is she awake?
Yeah, she's screaming.
Okay.
She just got out the woods because
and she's breathing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it just a bite? I shouldn't say just about. I mean, like, he didn't gnaw anything off, right? Okay.
But she said he was trying to drag. The coyote was trying to drag the kid into the woods. I've never heard of this unless they're rabid, and but the ones in Frisco that they had going too were also apparently not rabid, from what I gathered and recall in that coverage. So I would be prepared, and I don't have any sympathy for them, and I don't care where they were first or who was there first. No, thank you. Not happening. Too bad. God put us over this planet to rule over the animals and also to treat them well. And not disrespect, but not mistreat them. But we're not going to be a meat stick for them. No. Okay. This one really got to me. And if you have listened to my show for any length of time, you know that I really, 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 one of my big things I get upset about, or, that really bothers me, is when our police, who are tasked with protecting us, and I really look up to them and they're our heroes, but some of our police departments choose to pull Amber Alerts when they are not qualified for an Amber Alert. They don't meet the criteria. And it is such an important and precious tool that it must never be abused. And it is abused fairly regularly throughout the Metroplex, and that's all that matters to us, is where we live, right? Like, are you abusing it? Because guess why? If they abuse the Amber Alert and pull it when it shouldn't be pulled, which they've done so many times in my 14 years here, and I absolutely go after the police departments in my show because of it when they do this, because they're putting our children and other children in danger, their lives in danger. Why? Because the more of these Amber Alerts you pull, the more likely you are to turn it into the milk carton. You know I'm talking about, the milk carton? Remember all those missing kids on the milk cartons? Are they on there anymore? No, they're gone. You don't see them anymore. Not one. Why? Because they were overexposed and useless. It became so regular that you tuned it out, didn't you? If you saw a kid on a milk carton every 3 months or 4 months, you might actually look at it, right? And go, who's this? What's going on here? But not when it's every single milk carton you have. They're gone. They're not even there anymore. Why? Totally ineffective. How would you like that to happen to the Amber Alert? How would you like to have the Amber Alert become useless and ineffective to the point where nobody listens anymore? Coming up next, I want to hear from you. I'm going to ask you a question that you might not want to answer. The question is, are you already tuning out of Amber Alerts? Are you already writing them off and not paying attention to them? Are you already disregarding them? Are they so frequent now that you pretty much disregard them? Not that you want to, but that it's just pretty much so regular you don't listen to them anymore. You don't pay attention to them anymore. I believe that's already the case for the majority of Americans. I believe the majority of Americans, whether they want to admit it or not, don't get involved in paying attention to the Amber Alerts because there's too many of them pulled. And I do not believe that I don't believe the majority of them, or at least a very large percentage of them, are being pulled when they should be pulled. They're being pulled when they don't qualify, in my opinion. All right, we're going to get to that next. The question I'm going to ask for you, and I've got a couple stories on this. Why are there so many Amber Alerts in Texas? A brand new story from WFAA TV Channel 8 today. Why are there so many Amber Alerts in Texas? That's a dang good question. We're going to analyze that and how a recently passed state law is making it even worse, in my opinion. And wait till you hear how many Amber Alerts we've pulled in just 2 months so far this year. It is so wrong. It is so wrong. They are destroying our system, and that puts children's lives at risk. It's time to stop overpulling it, period. Way past time. That's next. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. WFAA TV Channel 8 doing the story today. Why are there so many Amber Alerts in Texas? I believe it's because the authorities are pulling Amber Alerts when they don't qualify, so much so that people are already tuning them out. I think it's a lot more people tuning them out than you might think. And that you can answer your question yourself, and you're not bad. I'm going to tell you this. My wife made a comment the other day. She and my son were doing stuff together. She was working with him. He's going to Japan. I've been telling you that a lot lately. He's leaving in about 2-3 weeks, which is insane. So we're scrambling. It's like a full-time job, dude. So many things to go over and lock in. But when the Amber Alert goes off on the phones, so she looks at her phone, like, what is a tornado coming? She was walking down the hall in passing. She wasn't talking to me. I just heard this go on in the other room. She goes, oh, wow, oh, boy. Something like, oh, boy, another Amber Alert. What does that mean? Tune it out. You know why? Too much. Too many times. I believe that I have silenced the Amber Alerts on my phone. I didn't hear it on that day. I think that tells me that, unless it's just because I had my phone volume off, which I do a lot because of my job. You know what I mean? I have it off because I don't want to have it go off when I'm recording something or when I'm on the air live. Or I may have opted out. And I try to pay attention. I try to look at them and get some basic information. But when they're pulled too much, they are overexposed. We have had, are you ready for this? 15 Amber Alerts in 2 months so far of 2024. 15 Amber Alerts in 8 weeks. You can do the math in your head, isn't it? Can't you? 15 Amber Alerts in 16 weeks. In 2 months. That's 7.5 per month. That is almost 2 Amber Alerts a week. 7.5 alerts per month. Almost 2 Amber Alerts a week. Are you really paying attention to them as much now? I'm not. Nope. Many people aren't. My wife doesn't mean anything but good for children. She loves children, like all of us do. Like anybody that's got a good mind in their head does. I know some people don't like them, but that's because they don't like to be around them. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that it's overexposed, and a lot of people, I think, are tuning it out as well. It's nothing nefarious. It's just like, dude, you pull it too much. What do you think? Do you feel our local authorities are pulling far too many Amber Alerts than what they really should be? And do you think this will become another milk carton tactic that is triggered so much that people just tune out? And here's the one that I really wanted to see what you think. Have you kind of tuned out most of our Amber Alerts nowadays? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. When you hear there's almost 2 Amber Alerts a week, that's too much, isn't it? And I'm not saying that children shouldn't be abducted every, too much. Don't hear what I'm not saying. All I'm saying is I think they pull them when they don't qualify a lot. You hear me rail on the cops when they do. How many of them turn out to be runaways? You have to follow the criteria, and they don't. Here's something else. Some people might not want to hear this and might not like me when I say this. And I'm not here to be mean. I'm just here to be truthful. If you have a tool that's supposed to be useful, then, dude, use it only when it qualifies. Otherwise, it's not useful anymore. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. I want to hear from you at 800-288-WBAP. Do you feel like our local authorities are pulling far too many Amber Alerts than what they really should be? Do you think this is going to become another milk carton tactic where people see it triggers so much they just tune out? And do you tune out of most Amber Alerts? Be honest. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. 4 lines open. Now, then they passed another law recently, and I know everybody means well, but it's bad. The new law they passed is the Athena Alert. Now, our hearts all broke, and we all have been absolutely mortified and horrified and hurt by what happened to little Athena Strand, 7-year-old girl kidnapped and murdered in Wise County by that driver. I think it was a UPS driver, if I'm not mistaken, or a FedEx driver or something of that nature. But Governor Abbott signed this bill into law, And it widened the Amber Alert capabilities to now what's called an Athena Alert. And this is where local law enforcement are allowed to request an Amber Alert, provided they know a child is missing but don't have not verified the Amber Alert criteria. That is so, listen to me, that's so, I want to swear, but I won't, so wrong. They widened the criteria for the Amber Alert, so now local authorities can just pull it when it doesn't qualify. They have destroyed it, period. Gregory in South Lake, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Gregory.
Hey, Chris, how you doing tonight?
Good, sir. How are you?
I have turned off all those alerts, the federal alerts, the Amber Alerts, all of them, because I was getting alerts coming at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning from some sheriff's department way out in the Panhandle about some officer-involved shooting. And I'm like, this is hundreds and hundreds of miles away from me, and I'm being woken up to this alert. And it turns out they had already caught the guy. Because I guess they sent the alert out to the entire state of Texas, so they must have sent out millions and millions of text messages. And I was somewhere down, halfway through the list.
So do you have you stopped tuning out have you stopped listening to the Amber Alerts or paying attention to them when you hear them on the radio, TV, or anywhere?
I don't pay attention to them at all because it's noise.
If they didn't pull them as much, would you pay attention to them more?
The problem is they need to make them much more local. Okay. Don't send me an alert for the silver alerts or the other.
Let me. Oh gosh, you're at a great point. Stand by. I want to put you on hold. You're rolling on this. I don't want to stop you. Can you stand by?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, stand by. I think, dude, he's opening up to silver alerts. Amen, brother. Stand by. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Do you feel like our local authorities are pulling far too many Amber Alerts than what they really should be? 15 in 8 weeks, guys. That's 2 per week almost. And do you think this is going to become another milk carton that's triggered so much that people just tune out of it? And do you tune out of most Amber Alerts and Silver Alerts and Blue Alerts and Clear Alerts and Alert Alerts? Ladies and gentlemen, alert, alert, alert. We have an alert. I have an alert. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Gosh, you guys, look at all the alerts we have. We have Amber Alerts. We have Clear Alerts. Here, let me go. I got, what are all the alerts in Texas? This is going to make you go insane. Are you ready for this? The Amber Alert, the Blue Alert, the Silver Alert, the Endangered Missing Alert, the Camo Alert, the Clear Alert. What the heck are these? And then we see today from WFAA TV Channel 8 that 15 Amber Alerts have been pulled in Texas in just 8 weeks. That's almost 2 per week. How would you expect anybody to pay attention to anything when it's triggered twice a week? I mean, dude, we're human beings. So I want to ask you, and by the way, I rail, you know this, I rail against the people that I'm the biggest fan of, the cops, when they pull an Amber Alert and it's not qualified. It happens all the time. I get so angry about this. You know it, because I let you hear it when it happens. And then we just passed in 2023. This is so wrong. This is not knocking sweet Athena Strand. It's just knocking the Athena Alert. The freaking Athena Alert. I forgot it. We got another one. We got Amber Alert, Athena Alert, Silver Alert, Blue Alert, Camo Alert, whatever that means. Clear Alert. Does that mean somebody shot? Does that mean somebody Dick Cheney'd somebody when they're hunting? The Camo Alert. An Endangered Missing Alert. And this is from DPS. That's all their missing person alerts. This is insane. So they passed the Athena Alert with Governor Abbott's signature last year. That allows local law enforcement, WFAA TV Channel 8 writes in this story, it allows local law enforcement to request an Amber Alert provided they know a child is missing, but they have no idea. They don't meet the criteria of an Amber Alert. Why not pull another alert? So now you're hearing Amber Alerts that don't even meet the criteria, and it's lawful. I mean, dude, this is insane. So here's my questions for you. Do you feel like our local authorities are pulling far too many Amber Alerts than what they really should be? And do you think this will become another milk carton tactic that's triggered so much that people just tune out when they hear it and disregard it? It's already happening. My wife said it in passing when one went off on her phone the other day. No one means to be crude, but it's like, dude, we don't, another Amber Alert. Wow. Is that, when you have people saying that are good civilians, I mean, my wife, a good citizen, saying that, you've lost them. You've lost your audience, man. You've lost moms who care about children, like more than the average person does, because they have children themselves. So, do you tune out of most Amber Alerts? Be honest. And do you think this will become another milk carton where everybody tunes out? And do you feel like our local authorities are pulling this too much? 2 per week, almost on average now, this year so far. Gregory, you've called in at 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227 in Southlake. And you were on a little bit of a roll, and it went to cut you off. So your first thing on the Amber Alert was what again, real quickly?
Well, I shut all the alerts off because they were coming too frequently and they were too many. I was getting silver alerts, I was getting blue alerts, and none of these things were geotagged. In other words, they weren't trying to give me an alert which was in like my region. Mm-hmm. I was getting alerts from hundreds of miles away. And now, granted, okay, someone abducted a child, somebody's got on the road, kind of stuff like that. But I'm not on the road. I'm sitting at home at night, 11 o'clock, and this hellish alarm goes off. The same kind of alarm you get when the National Weather Service issues an emergency.
Right.
To the phones, okay? And, knocked me out of my seat just about. I'm like, and it's going off at 2 o'clock in the morning about some officer-involved shooting up in the Panhandle. And I'm like, that's so far away, I can't do anything about it.
Now, when you brought up something I didn't even think to mention, silver alerts. A silver alert is issued for a missing older adult who suffers from impaired mental condition like our president, such as Alzheimer's or dementia. Now,
it's going to be a 24-hour silver alert for him.
Yes, that's seriously, you are exactly right. Let me tell you something else too. The silver alert means oftentimes I withhold fire when it means somebody's walked away from their house and they're, wherever. Because if you have Alzheimer's or something like that and you walked out of your house, that's different. Exactly. But most of them are driving.
Right.
And none of them should ever, I want to scream this, ever be allowed to drive. And yet, they're literally, the silver alert should be for us. You might get killed on the highway, so look out for this car. That's what it tells me. Somebody's kid has not taken away somebody's keys because they want to let us die. And we'll take all your money, by the way, if you do that to us. Get the dang keys away from your parents so there's no silver alert because you're letting them drive when they can kill us. A blue alert is when somebody is suspected of killing or seriously injuring a law enforcement officer. That's understandable. But when you add all these alerts together, Amber Alert and now a Athena Alert. Oh, you can pull it when it doesn't qualify locally. What the heck? Endangered Missing Alert. Camo Alert. Military who have walked off the job and are missing and they have a documented mental illness. What in God's name are they in our military for? If they have a mental illness and they're walking around lost or leaving. A clear alert is missing adults in imminent danger of injury or death whose disappearance is believed to be involuntary. What does that even mean?
Right. I mean, it's gotten to, look, I don't even, I see the highway signs when I'm driving we'll say an Amber Alert on the highway signs. I haven't got time to read that. I'm trying to pay attention to the road.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate your call, Gregory. So you agree you've turned off your alarms and your alerts and you don't pay attention to them. They have already done it to you. They are the milk carton, all these alerts.
Exactly.
Appreciate your call. Let's go to Richard. You've called in Denton at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. You can chime in right now, by the way. 4 lines open. Richard and Denton, you have quite a story here. Talk to me.
Well, I just called in to let you know I am similar to you. I have turned off my alerts, but my grandkids were abducted from, this is kind of a long story. We anyway, they're friends of the family, but anyway. So they were taken away, and within a few hours, Amber Alerts went off. I didn't even know it. My sister had called me and woke me up. But people pay attention. Some people pay attention because after 6 hours, someone had recognized the children and called the police to check on it, and the police showed up at a hotel and found the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the person who abducted them jumped out of a second-story window and got away.
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter was able to go get the kids, and so that part of the story all turned out good. All my real comment is, yes, that there's a lot of alerts. I agree with you, but there are still some people who are paying attention, listening to it, and calling authorities. So I don't know in how many cases, but it sounds like they actually work.
Well, they only work if they're not abused. Would you agree with that?
Right.
Or how about this? How about I say it differently? Not only work if, but how about this? They are much less likely to work the more they're pulled, the more often they're pulled. Is that fair enough?
That would, logically that would make sense, but I just know that they did find the kids. And,
I think that
I did tell you that I did turn the alert off on my.
You turned your alarms off. Why did you turn your Amber Alert and all these clear alert, silver alert, blue alert? This is a camo alert. I mean, this is so wrong. Now Athena alert. I want to make up my own alert, an alert, and just make it up. Go ahead, sir. So you've turned it off because it's too much?
Yeah, I mean, during meetings and just different things at work, and it just goes off, and I just didn't feel like it was very relevant to me.
Yeah. Okay. So you're it's out and such. Did your grandchildren, when they pulled it, did they even qualify for it? I'm not knocking anything here on that, but did they?
Most definitely. The person that hit my daughter with a baseball bat and took the children from the car.
My gosh. Well, that's here. Let's see the criteria because that would match it. Ready? Here we go. Okay. Missing child is under 17 or younger. Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Law enforcement believes the missing children, your grandchildren, were abducted, right?
Yeah.
And they were unwillingly taken from an environment without their permission from the child's parent or legal guardian, right?
Yes.
Law enforcement agency believed they're in danger or serious bodily injury or death, which obviously when somebody hits mom with a baseball bat, God forbid. Number 4, law enforcement conducted an investigation that verified an abduction taking place, ruled out alternative explanations, right, with your case?
Yes. And they took my daughter to the police station and went over everything.
Sufficient information available to distribute to the public that assisted in locating the child and the suspect or the vehicle. Child, suspect, or vehicle. One of the 3, right?
Right.
Case closed. Your grandchildren qualified, and it worked. God bless that. Is your daughter okay, and do they ever catch the SOB?
No. I don't even feel like they're trying, to be honest with you. But they were able to return the kids, and it was a 2 and a 5-year-old, and so the kids are safe.
Good.
But
is your daughter okay?
As far as I know, she's okay. Her knee is still swollen, but she's okay.
Okay, good. Listen, thanks for your story, for sharing it, and thanks for being truthful, Richard. I really appreciate your story tonight.
Okay.
Thank you, friend. I'm glad your grandkids and your daughter are okay now, except for the knee part on your daughter, but that's a lot better than a head injury. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay, coming up next, I am not here to condemn. Okay, if you've done IVF or you support it, or your daughter did it, or your wife did it, whatever, I'm not here to condemn you. But do you think IVF should be something people stay away from? Do you think that the reason there's so much controversy about IVF is because maybe it's something we shouldn't be doing to start with? We'll get into that next, as it's in the news again today. With Texas IVF patients scrambling in wake of the Alabama decision from the Dallas Morning News today. That's next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. I want to start out, before I get into this, to say something. I'm not here to condemn you if you've done IVF. I'm not here to condemn you or attack you if somebody you love or your wife or your daughter or anyone who, your neighbor, your aunt, whatever, if they've done IVF. That's not what I'm saying, and don't hear what I'm not saying, because I'm not saying that. But when I look at, because IVF stuff's in the news again today, so that triggered me from the Dallas Morning News saying in the headline, "It's too much. Texas IVF patients scramble in the wake of the Alabama decision." I'm not going to relitigate all that. I've read up on it enough, but I have heard that IVF is leads to some disabilities. Is more, not always, but I'm not here to say that, and I'm not here to spread mistruths. But here's one thing on a quick search online with Reuters. Parents who use reproductive technologies like in vitro fertilization, IVF, may be more likely to have children with intellectual disabilities than those who conceive without help. That's one of many of these. And I pray that your children and your grandchildren, etc., and your nieces and nephews don't have any disabilities, but if they do, I pray that you love them and that everybody loves them just as much and cherishes them and sees the blessing in them. But this woman in Flower Mound quoted in this Dallas Morning News article today. She has 4 embryos in the freezer in Dallas, and she doesn't know what to do with them. Maybe it's because you shouldn't have done it in the first place. If you created something and you don't know what to do with it, why did you create it? Does that make sense? If you created something and you now don't know what to do with it, even though you created it, why did you do it in the first place? And do you feel, and do you think, I should say, that IVF should be something people stay away from? Again, not condemning, just it doesn't seem right and natural to me. And I think when you go way out of your way to try to have a baby when you can't have one, I'm not condemning you. Don't hear what I'm not saying, so don't get all mad at me. But when you go out of your way and do things that are really out of the way to try to get pregnant when you can't, are you surprised that things happen? Are you surprised that you're left with embryos that you don't want to discard or destroy because it's a life? Are you surprised that clinics all over the country are panicking over this? Are you surprised that clinics all over the country don't even have space? They have to keep adding space. From what I read up on in the Wall Street Journal, that they don't have enough space, so they have to. They're like, what do I do with these things? I want to destroy them, but I don't want to now because of the ruling. I might get prosecuted. Why did you create the darn embryos in the first place? Why did you go outside of bounds that seems way out of the way to create something that you don't know what to do with anymore? You shouldn't create, again, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but you shouldn't create something that you don't know what to do with and you don't want to discard. What is this? Why did you do this? Doesn't it seem strange to have these embryos that you don't want to destroy because it's a life in there, or you feel that way? So do you think IVF should be something people stay away from? I'm not trying to be mean, and if you do it or you've done it, that's your business, but I'm telling you, I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good idea. Not because of religious doctrine, not because of my faith. I'm not aware of anything with my faith that's against or for. I'm not here to do that game. I'm just telling you, I don't need to be a person of faith, which I am, to make this decision. When you go this far out of your way, then things happen that are not good. Not all the time, but I don't support it. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Again, I'm not going around to crusade and be nasty to people or condemn you. I'm just telling you, I don't think this is good. I don't think you should have done it in the first place. That's why I think you're in a problem, that you're in a pickle here. And do you think the reason there's so much controversy about IVF is because it's something we shouldn't be doing in the first place? So do you think IVF should be something people stay away from? And do you think the reason there's so much controversy about IVF is because it's something we shouldn't do to begin with? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. A few more quotes from this woman and some other people in this Dallas Morning News article and from NBC News today. And then after that, we're going to get into Fort Worth is hemorrhaging tons of students over the past several years. Where are they all going? And what are you thinking about doing? Have you been one? Are you one of those parents that pulled your kids out of the school? All that next.